I don't know how to start the video. As always, we are going to struggle with an intro. What's up guys, welcome back to Wreckless Millennial Wednesdays. Today we're going to be talking about doing a no spend, and I'm going to give you guys a few tips, tricks, whatever that I use whenever I did a no spend. I did it for a month, but you can do it for however long you want to. There's no limit on it. You can do it for a week. If you get paid weekly, you can do it for 2 weeks, see how much you can save out of your paycheck. You can do it for a year, 2 months, however really long you want to do it is really up to you. So let's get started. So first I want to start out with some benefits of a no spend. So the benefits that I came up with are that you save money, you learn a little bit of self-discipline, you learn how to say the word no, and your needs and wants get separated. So you might think you need something, but then when you do a no spend, you're like, oh, I can live without that, and then there you go, another expense cut from the budget. So the first tip I have for your no spend is to decide why you're not going to spend money. Why do you want to do this? What is the end goal? Like, are you doing it to save money? Or are you doing it to see if you can do it? Or are you doing it to save it for a certain goal you have in mind? Or are you doing it to catch up on some bills? Or are you just doing it to see how much money you spend recklessly throughout the month or the week or however long you're going to do it for? With that tip also, you need to decide how long you're going to do it. It's really up to you and how you want to manage your finances. I just decided to do a month just because a month just seemed like a longer time, like to learn a habit or to actually see like my trends and my habits that I go through on an everyday basis. Because I can do anything for a week and not spend money, but if I extend it to a month, I'm like, oh, that's when like temptation comes in and it really starts to challenge me. The next tip I have is to understand your spending habits. You never really know how much money you spend until you go and look at your bank account. This is not going well. If you are going out to eat every day for lunch when you go to work, that's your routine. That's what you stick to. That's what you fell into. You don't feel like making a lunch the night before or making it the morning of to pack and bring a lunch, and that will save you a lot of money. So just looking back at your spending habits, seeing how many times you get a coffee, how many times you eat out while you're at work instead of bringing the meal that you made for dinner, or how many times on the weekends you eat out. Do you eat out 3 times a day on the weekends? Because I know weekends like where we get frivolous. The next tip I have is to make sure all your necessities are paid. So like rent, light, water, food, phone bill, credit card bills, student loan payments, everything that has like a minimum payment, it's a recurring charge. Go ahead and pay that earlier in the month. Noticing that you pay it earlier in the month will help you throughout the long run, so you don't feel like you're just spending money like all throughout the month, because you don't want to be like, oh, I'm on a no spend, but then a bill comes up and you're like, oh, but I need to pay the bill. If you pay them early in the month, like say the first week of the month, I know some bills aren't due till like later, but you can always call and ask to pay early. And if you can't pay them early, go ahead and put the money aside and just say, okay, paid, because the money's aside, that's what I'm going to use that for, and just get that part done earlier in the month if you're going to do a month, and make sure that they're paid. The next tip I have is about your food. So I just recently did a video about monthly meal planning. I'll link it up in the whatever up here in the eyes so that you can click on it and watch that. But I went through like a monthly meal plan, and that is what we use in our household to make sure that we are not spending money on dinners that we don't need to. So we eat whatever's in the freezer, whatever's in the pantry. We have a plan for that food. We know what ingredients go to what. We know what meals we can have and meals we can't have. So we literally just pick a meal off the list and make it that night, and that's what we have for dinner. And then we usually make enough for me to have for lunch the next day. So I take my lunch to work, and that is how we save on our food. The next thing is super important. It is like finding free activities, because you are going to get bored. You're going to be in the house like, oh, can't go shopping. Oh, can't online shop. Oh, don't know what to do. You need to find out what is free in your area. It's about to be summertime. I know the stuff is going around right now like germs, but if you can take a walk, it'll take some of your energy and your time away. So maybe when you get back from your walk, you'll be too tired to do anything. You can invite some friends over, maybe have a potluck and make something that you already had in your pantry that the ingredients just work for. Or you could spend time with your family, like quality time, maybe just have like a quick game night with some chips and some snacks and have them bring it. If you're hosting at your house, have people bring food to you. You're opening up your home to people, they should be able to just bring you like a little snack, a little pie, and treats and stuff, and then bring some games and you'll have a good night. The next tip is important as well. For me as a millennial, it's very important to stay offline as much as you can. Influencers are so good at their jobs. They will like hype up this product and make you feel like you need it, and the next thing you know, you're online using that little coupon code to buy it. And I'm just like, did you even need it? And really, whenever you buy that product, are you even gonna use it, or did you just buy it because someone told you to? Like some big influencer that you want to watch on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, any of that told you to buy this product, and now you're using it, and now you spent money on it and you used it once and it's like in the back of your closet. So stay offline during your no spend. If you like are good at justifying things, it's probably a good idea to stay offline. The next thing I have is to track your progress. You're gonna wanna know how much money you're saving throughout the month, because if you don't go back and look, you're like,
oh, I'm still on a no spend, don't see any progress made. Why am I doing this again?
So really just look back and see how much money you had in your bank account right now compared to this time last month. So like for me, I had an extra $400 in my bank account compared to the same time the last month before. Like I had $400 more. What was I doing with that $400? I will never know. I really don't know. I guess I was buying food or buying whatever I thought I needed or anything of the sort. I'm really unsure to this day, but I know that I was spending unwisely because obviously I cut out all my wants and only spent money on my necessities. And once I did that, I had $400 left over that I thought I would never have in my bank account. Like, struggling. The next tip I have for you guys is to tell people about your no spend. Let someone know about your no spend. Let them know what you're doing and how you want to do it. So set boundaries for yourself. If someone offers to buy you food at a restaurant, please do not take up the offer, because that does not teach you anything about your behavior and how to save money. So if your friends are going out to eat and they invite you, you're like, oh no, remember my no spend. They're like, oh no, I'll pay for you. That is your prime opportunity to say, no, I'm learning something about myself at this point. That does not abide by my no spend rules. So setting boundaries for yourself and telling people what you're doing to help yourself out financially. My last and final tip is to go easy on yourself. You're going to make mistakes. If this is your first no spend ever, you are going to make mistakes. There is like no doubt about it. You're gonna find yourself in a drive-thru when you have food in the fridge, buying some fries at McDonald's just because you want them. Mistakes happen. You can always try again the next day. Don't let that one mistake send you downhill and make you stop all the progress you've worked towards. Because it can even be the last day of the no spend and you're like, oh, it's the last day, I'm gonna go eat out, I've been doing so well. And you're like, you go spend money at McDonald's and you feel kind of guilty because all of that work you just put yourself through was kind of wasted because on the last day you folded. Like, keep it together. You can do this, but I'll honestly go easy on yourself if you make a mistake. It is not that big of a deal. It is your financial life. You know what's best for you. So now I just want to go over some benefits that I realized that impacted my financial life whenever I did a no spend. So obviously I saved a lot of money. As I said, saved like $400 that month, which is ridiculous. Like going from like $0 to $400 in my bank account is an interesting jump because I didn't think I had that much money left over. And also self-discipline. Like I taught myself a lot of self-discipline. Saying no to yourself is probably the hardest thing to learn because you're like, I worked hard for this, but really you also worked hard for that debt you have and all that money you didn't have in your bank account. You also worked hard to win that. So it's like really just seeing the parts of your life that really need control, and like the financial part for me really needed a lot of control. So doing the no spend really taught me like, you can save so much money if you stop spending ridiculously. Like you are out of control. You really just, you need some help. So I helped myself, told myself no, self-discipline. I am not perfect yet, but you know, we can keep trying. I'm not gonna get there, but we can keep trying. So my no spend really just told me like, say no to yourself, teach yourself self-discipline, and just realize that no one's perfect, but you can try. I'm also gonna tell you guys what I have been doing to not spend money recently. So recently I've been teaching myself like how to code, and I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I've been using like Codesmith website to teach myself kind of like the basics of everything. And they have like a website, they have a YouTube channel that I'll go and watch the videos on. It's like a class, and he just like, it's on the whiteboard talking to a class, but you just watch it like virtually obviously. But it's really cool, easy to learn, and I'll link it down below if anybody else is interested in learning how to code. But that's what I've been doing in my free time, so I can not be out here spending money, especially during this time where you can't even go outside anyway. So it's like, find something to do in the house. So that's what I found to do. I think I'm out of words to say. Alright, with all that being said, I am going to end the video now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and hit the button. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.